Reporting for Ghost Club Magazine, I'm extremely excited to introduce Martin Méndez, bass player for Opeth and White Stones, and we're here to talk about the latest album by White Stones, Dancing into Oblivion, which was released this past August 27th. How are you doing today, Martin?
Good, man. Thank you.
So you released the debut album with White Stones named Guarahi in 2020. This album included tracks like Drown in Time, Guira, and Ashes. And a year after this release, we have the sophomore album, Dancing into Oblivion. Can you talk a little bit about the difference in the writing process for Dancing into Oblivion and Guarahi?
Well, Kwarahi, when I started writing the music for Kwarahi, I didn't have any expectations about what to do with the music. I was writing for myself, and I did write, I think, of the 10 songs. 6 of them was without intention of releasing anything. But then when I had these 6 songs ready and I mixed them and everything, I thought I liked the result. So I showed it to my manager, and then we started talking about it, and then he was looking for like a label to release it. So from there, everything kind of started to be more serious, you know. So, you know, when you don't have any expectations, when you're writing the music, it's more relaxed in a way, you know, because
Right.
you don't have any pressure or anything. But with that said, I mean, Dancing into Oblivion, for me, it was a really nice period, the writing process. Of course, I did have a little bit of pressure because you always want to make a better album than
Right.
the past one. But I don't know. I had a good inspiration, and I have a pleasant time doing this album. So I don't know. The difference might be that half of the first album was without any expectations at all, but the second one, of course I knew the album was coming up. So I don't know. I mean, I felt good with both albums really, but that might be the difference.
And as far as the whole writing process, do you write the whole music and the lyrics, or do you have a collaborative effort from the whole band in the whole process?
Well, the music is just me. I do like proper demos at my place, at my home. So the music is pretty much the same when I do the demos as the album. Besides the guitar solos, because they are done by Joel Sassetti, the guitar player this time. Mm-hmm. But in the first album, I did write, I think it was more than half of the lyrics myself. And a couple of them was Eloy, the singer. But in the new one was only Eloy doing the lyrics. So yeah, that was the difference. But the music is all me.
Nice. And as far as the influences, because obviously, you know, if we go back to everything that has happened lately with directly with Opeth, and then you come with a project that's death metal with, I would even say like even has more of a black metal influence. Are you trying to like devote or like play music that is related? Because I know you talked about you are more into like the old school death metal, old school extreme music. Or is it something that's happening right now that got you like, okay, I need to do extreme music again?
No, man. I mean, it just came naturally. When I started writing the first album, I didn't have any ideas, anything. I just write what it came first to my head, you know. And I think it's natural because death metal or extreme metal is maybe the style of music that I've been listening the most during my life.
Mm-hmm.
I'm playing the most as well. But I listen to a lot of music, you know. But I don't know, it just came this style, and I feel good doing this kind of style, you know. I don't know if it's good, if it's in. I mean, some people is complaining because it says it's not really death metal, and I know it's an interpretation of myself of the death metal that I like, but of course it's a lot of influence, different influences in there. But it's nothing that I was missing with Opeth. or anything like that. It just came that way. That I think this is me, and I mean, people is talking about that, because we don't release any death metal albums anymore with Opeth, and maybe that's why I'm doing this, but it's not true because I get my dose of death metal with Opeth every night. I'm on tour,
Yeah.
we're playing death metal songs every night. So it's not the case, it's just, I guess, it's what became more natural for me.
So you have people saying that White Stones is not death metal?
I heard that, yes. Or real
Wow.
death metal, but for me it's a mix, but I think the bass, the basic in the music is death metal for me.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's I don't really think that anyone can argue it's not. I mean, but I also enjoy the fact that you do bring a lot of Latin influence, and this pretty much has been throughout your whole career. And you talking about the different music that you listen to, how much does it influence the fact that you're playing with people that are from Spain as well, and you coming from Uruguay? How does that influence into that bringing a different view and more of a Latin spice here and there into the music?
Well, the music, as I say, is just me writing the music, and I guess I mean I love Latin music. I mean, from folk music, from both Uruguay or wherever. I mean, I love bossa nova or even Latin jazz or folklore. It's called milonga, tango, whatever. So all these influences they are somewhere in the music, but it's nothing obvious.
Right.
Same as jazz. I love the jazz, but people is saying that this album has some jazz elements. It might have, but it's nothing obvious, I think. But I think it's all these styles. They influence me in a way, and they are in the album. And about the band, because they're from Spain, I guess they have maybe a better understanding of this kind of styles, the Latin styles.
Right.
But since it's only me doing the music, it comes from me, I guess.
Yeah, it's part of the DNA already. Awesome. And I want to talk a little bit about basses. I'm a bassist myself, and
Oh.
I've been following your career for a long time as well. And obviously, I've seen the difference of you playing Fender jazz basses for a while, but now you're playing Sandberg basses. Can you talk a little bit about this decision and playing Sandberg basses?
Well, I used to play Sander basses for, I think it was like 10 years ago, something like that. I was with Fender all the time, but I had the opportunity to play Sander basses as well. But then I stopped, and then I kept playing with the jazz basses, Fender. But for, I think it was 2 or 3 years ago, I I got the question if I wanted to have a signature model with Sander, and I say yes, of course, because I love those basses. And I went to the factory, and I met to the owner and the people there, and we discussed, and I try different basses, and um, I had to choose like the different models and the finish and all that. So I was involved in pretty much a lot in this bass. So I'm very happy with the result because it's a great instrument, I think. Very versatile. I mean, it's pretty much similar to a jazz bass because I think they're very versatile. You can play from very extreme metal to the most soft style of music, and it sounds great. So yeah, and this bass I have two different models, or two different finishes on that. One is black, and the other was white,
Right.
and it's in 4 and 5 strings. So yeah, I mean, I'm loving it. It's a really nice instrument.
And talking about 4 and 5 strings, any personal choice? Would you rather play 4 rather than 5, or doesn't really? It's all about the song.
It's about the song. I mean, of course, I prefer to play four strings because the it's a bit easier in that way. I have small hands, so
Yeah, I can
um,
relate to that as well.
yeah. But it depends on the song. Of course, if I need the fifth string, I pick up the five one.
And as far as any rituals or any particular routine that you go before going to the studio, either with Whitestones or Opeth, is there anything in particular you do before going to the studio?
No, before going to the studio, I try to be as good as possible. Knowing the songs and having play a lot before, so I have uh, my technique is fluent. It's good. So I try to play a lot before and know the songs, of course. But other than that is no, because in this case with the White Stones, I do all the guitars as well. So usually I do all
Okay.
the guitars first, and then when it comes to the bass, I had a warm up with the guitar. So yeah.
Oh, nice, interesting. Usually, you hear processes that's usually like drums, bass, and then guitars, but it's very interesting to have guitars first and then bass.
Yeah, in this case, yes, because usually I do drums first and then guitars, and then the bass I leave it to the end because I like to tweak small things in the studio, in the moment, and since the drums might be a bit different sometimes from the demos, I want to keep it a little bit live, and jamming a little bit in the studio. I like that.
Yeah, that makes sense. That definitely makes sense. Awesome. And what's coming next? What's coming next, either for both Whitestones and Opeth, if you can share something.
Well, for White Stones, I don't know yet. I would love to make a debut live for the band because we didn't have the chance yet. But that depends, of course, of the situation, of the COVID situation and all that. But with Opeth, we still have a lot of touring left from the latest album. So as soon as we can go out again, we will keep touring and finish the round in Cauda Veneno. But we have plans, but it's nothing confirmed yet. But hopefully, maybe the end of this year or beginning of the next one, we can start touring again.
Well, let's hope so. You guys were the last band I saw live before the pandemic.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it was in New York, so I need to have my fix of live music again pretty soon.
Yeah.
So everyone, listen to Dancing into Oblivion by Whitestones, available on all streaming platforms. Martin, thank you so much for your time. It's definitely been a pleasure. And like I said, I hope to get to see you guys soon.
Thank you so much, man. Thanks. And hopefully we see you again.